This video is brought to you by Squarespace. I'm DIStory Dan, and today we shall chat about the costume history of Cat in the Hat. From theme parks to Broadway, there's so much to see. We've got Rosie O'Donnell, Mike Myers, even a puppet or three. From his big, tall, striped hat to his wide, silly grin, let's see where all of his weird costumes begin. Okay, I've got a Cat in the Hat mask, but it's a face mover mask, and my face is big. I have a big old head. I'm just vibing as Cat in the Hat. I'm digging it. I feel like a principal on National Reading Day. All right, where did all this start? Well, we have to go back to 1957. Dr. Seuss was tasked with writing a new grade school primer for kids. Essentially like a really easy book to read, you know, like fun with Dick and Jane. Jane walks here, Dick runs there. But his publisher gave him a very limited grouping of words, like essentially only the words that, like, you know, first and second graders had in their vocabulary. Frustrated by the list of words, he essentially went down until he found the first two that rhymed, cat and hat, and ran with it. Literally. That's the story he tells. That's his official story. And he wrote this very incredible, nonsensical world into this book that was a very stark contrast to the traditional Dick and Jane books that we had at the time, and it was revolutionary. These books entered the childhood literacy debate and kind of like changed the game. It made him like sort of infamous overnight in the way that like Harry Potter blew up because like all these scholars like, oh, it's getting kids to read again, and suddenly media picked up on that, and before you knew it, everyone was reading Harry Potter because they were told that everyone was reading Harry Potter. The same thing worked for the Cat in the Hat. Kind of happened like overnight. And I love it. This cat is iconic. He's sleek and skinny. He's got a long body with those long arms and the white gloves. And he's got that big red hat and bow tie. It's a really beautiful play with color because, again, Dr. Seuss illustrated these things. So Cat was very intentionally just given like a color. He's black and white with this splash of red, and it really makes him explode on the page. It's kind of cool. And when the book first came out, you know, it was hyped, like I said, and I found this one weird old newspaper interview, like photo session with this woman dressed like the cat with Dr. Seuss. No way that this was like an official, an official appearance, but yeah, way too scandalous, but also feels very 60s, doesn't it? Fast forward to 1973, and we get our first cartoon Cat in the Hat. After a falling out with the iconic MGM creative team behind the one-of-a-kind Grinch Christmas cartoon, everyone knows and loves this cartoon, but Dr. Seuss wasn't exactly thrilled with it. So he moved the studio and the licensing rights over to Warner Brothers to start a whole new television special series, and it kicked off with Cat in the Hat. And it's a 30-minute retelling of the book with some added musical numbers because, you know, that was cool. That was what was in. It worked for the Grinch. Might as well work for the cat, right? And while this is not as necessarily as fondly remembered as the Grinch cartoon special, maybe because it doesn't have a holiday tied to it, I still think this is pretty fantastic, and it keeps the spirit of the cat alive, keeps the cat train moving until we get into the 80s where things get wild. Now, the thing about costume history that you all know and love, much like myself, is that sometimes characters like explode overnight and there really isn't any kind of like official licensing at the time to kind of like handle the demand. And so lots of mom and pop costume shops start to make their own costumes, and Cat in the Hat was definitely one of those. And in the 80s, you can find images from public libraries and like children's theaters and children's museums of live Cat in the Hat type plays that were going on all the time, and some of these costumes don't look bad. I mean, I really love this one in the library. The hat is super tall and like almost like rubbery and like super stiff. I love that it's holding its structure. And while the cat itself looks a little bit like, you know, deer in the headlights, I like the other one, but illusion broken. He's sitting there without the hat on the head. Come on, guy. Don't take your picture for the newspaper with the head in the lap. Put that that head on, baby. Still, these costumes look good, all things considered. Now, if you're a child of the 90s, you might remember this, maybe not. It all depends on if you had cable TV, because this was on TNT. Remember TNT, the broadcast network, also named after explosives? You still can rely on TNT in a hotel to play like a 90-minute movie over 4 hours with 7,000 commercial breaks. It's great. You gotta love TNT. I fell down the rabbit hole hard with this made-for-TV special that combines a variety of small snippets of Dr. Seuss's books, as well as actual facts about the author's life, called In Search of Dr. Seuss. It stars Cat in the Hat and Kathy Najimy. You know, Kathy Najimy, infamously from Sister Act and also Hocus Pocus. And so it's Kathy Najimy and Matt Fewer. People love this guy. It's just like a guy in a tuxedo with a red hat on. It's whatever. But in this show, man, he's a super weirdo and he hangs out, and the cast is out of control in this. Patrick Stewart, Robin Williams, Andrea Martin. Get out of here, guys. Look at all this, and they're all dressed up like, you know, like they're in Circus McGurkus. It's wild. It's an interesting take on the life of a man. Let's get into one of my favorite things that I get to talk about sometimes in these videos, Thanksgiving Day parades. Ah, yes, the Cat in the Hat balloon. Woohoo! It debuted in 1994 and everyone loved it. You know, one of the Geisels, I don't know if it was his original wife or the lady no, because she died, right? Yeah, she did. She like got sick and then he left her for another woman. Listen, Dr. Seuss isn't a great guy. I don't know. This isn't about the personal life of Dr. Seuss, sorry. This is about the Cat in the Hat. Anyway, in 1994, he hit the parade hard in this gorgeous float. 59 feet tall, has a 16-foot bow tie, and he's riding the Seuss-mobile. Whatever that is. Like it's like what, the Batmobile? I don't know what the Seuss-mobile is. Don't name drop the Seuss-mobile like it's something, all right? Dumb. He became the ambassador of the parade. Like, the Cat was deeply tied to the parade, and they invested hard in this. Macy's went hard on Cat. Went hard on Cat in the Hat. And that was unfortunate because in 1997, there was a bad accident. Now, everyone loves, you know, like a Thanksgiving balloon popping, you know, Barney popped and everyone's like, haha, you know, but this one, someone got hurt. Someone got seriously hurt. There were super high winds on the 1997 parade route. And as the Cat in the Hat balloon on its third year was passing through the 72nd and Central Park West intersection, a huge gust of wind pushed up against it and it hit a lamppost and it ripped open the balloon and also smashed the light, causing it to fall and like hit 4 bystanders that were underneath it, putting one of the people in a coma. It's bananas. It's crazy. Putting people in comas, Cat. After that, new rules were adopted and on sizing and like the shapes of balloons, and a bunch were retired, including the Cat in the Hat balloon, and moving forward in 1998. And it's kind of the reason why a lot of balloons now look like they have like scoliosis or like spine problems. They're all like hovered over low, you know what I mean, with their arms out, because like they have to be like flat and aerodynamic, you know what I mean, like a fancy sports car, so that the wind, yeah, it's sad. It's sad. Gotta say, guys, dressing like Cat in the Hat, very freeing. I feel like I could get away with anything. I could rob a bank and people be like, it's just the Cat in the Hat. Whatevs. Don't rob banks, kids. Don't do that. I don't know where that thought just came from. It's an intrusive thought that I let come out loud, and don't rob banks. I'm just saying that this costume is just nice. One of my favorite parts of the video, where I get to talk about puppets. In 1996, let's head over to the Wubbulous world of Dr. Seuss. Oh, I love this show. We've talked about it before. I'm obsessed with it. It's so great. The Cat in the Hat in this is just so cool. He's got that big, long, sleek body, a long, dangly tail, really long arms. He's very much like the book character, the illustrations, specifically just how long and stretched out the body is, considering it's a puppet. Like, it is some guy with his arm fully stretched out, head down, so that like he can get that full long sleek look of the cat without his head being in the shot. So, you know, hats off. That's really, really fun design. I love it. And the eyebrows, they can do their eyebrow things, making it like, you know, giving a lot of emotion, fun stuff to play with. He's fun. I like it. There's an episode where there's even like smaller cats, in addition to the main cat, like he does with his things, but he has cats. Cat 1, 2, and 3 instead of thing 1, which is fun. I mean, like, kind of really messing with the canon of Cat in the Hat there, like just letting him just pull whatever he wants out of his hat. I think thing 1 and thing 2 are more like a curse than like a tool he has. You know what I mean? Like if every time you took off your hat, 2 small blue demons jumped out and sort of trashing your house to teach children lessons, that's not something anyone wants. No one wants that. So I don't think that the cat is like thrilled about thing 1 and thing 2 being the demons that he carries with him that trash all the places he goes, because he's always cleaning up after him like 2 toddlers, you know? So, but you know, I guess that's the lessons learned from the book, right? A lot of people learned a lot of lessons in the Cat in the Hat book. And then the Cat in the Hat comes back. Haven't read it. I couldn't tell you what happens in it. It's like the sequel to Grease, unnecessary. If the children haven't learned their lesson yet, they're not worthy characters for me then. If the cat has to come back, then I don't want to follow up. We have enough cinematic universes. I don't need more Cat in the Hats. All right, new costume time, and I'm excited because in 1997, the National American Education Society, the NEA, I guess is what it's called, debuted a new holiday for children across the world, or specifically America, because it was an America thing. But Read Across America Day became a thing. I remember it. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I was deep into it. I was 10, so I was in 5th grade. One person started dressing up like Cat in the Hat every year around the school and like marching around. Yikes. Anyway, this is the perfect marriage, guys, because National Reading Day is also Dr. Seuss's birthday. So, coincidence? I think not. I think someone might have planned it, but they have a new cat costume, which improved a lot of things over those like mom and pop costumes that we had before. Really nice consistent eyebrows, nice eye shape, a really nice silhouette. Even though he's got a little bit of an odd neck, they chose to like hang the bow in the middle of the neck to kind of hide the vision spot, which is kind of cool, you know? And I like the hat. I weirdly like the hat. I like that the hat has like a lot more red at the top than a normal hat does. I like that. I don't know why. I guess like it's like forced perspective. It makes it look like taller and cooler when you're like looking up at him, I guess maybe. There's this one image where he's on an aircraft carrier, and can we punch in for a second? Can we punch in for a second on the thing 1 and thing 2 back there? Yeah. What is happening here? What is happening here? What is hard pass. Anyway, this costume's been everywhere. Even once with Hillary Clinton, I found a picture. What's up, Hillary? Hey, girl. Funny fact is that this costume debuted earlier than the 1997 Read Across America national debut. In fact, he was part of the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade campaign. He was the ambassador starting in like 1995, and you could find this costume on like the Hamilton Express train float. He was just like waving to people, vibing and hanging out, but like the parade doesn't want you to know this, all right? They kind of have covered up all Cat in the Hat involvement. There's no like nostalgic photos of the Cat in the Hat on the train because like a woman was put into a coma and sued them, and so we don't really talk about the cat and Thanksgiving anymore, but he was there. I think it's the only video I was able to find as the time of which I recorded this of the cat in this costume in action. But I'm grateful. What a wild costume. Hey, remember 1999? We were all terrified of Y2K.
Oh no, it's happening.
But thrilled that Universal Studios was opening a new park. It's the feeling that you all have right now with Epic Universe on its way, or perhaps you're watching this years later and Epic Universe is fully open, or perhaps you're watching this years later and Epic Universe has been forced to close because global warming has raised the sea levels. This is an evergreen piece of content. Who knows when you're watching this? But in 1999, it was a good time because we had a new theme park, Universal Studios Islands of Adventure, with a new land, Dr. Seuss Landing, with a giant Cat in the Hat hat that had a whole ride inside, a whole terrifying horror, like just one of the, forget Halloween Horror Nights, just ride this if you want like a hot scare at Universal Studios. It's just horror, like rubber skin suit robot cats and like flappy fish and like jittery water bowls and terrifying sound effects and jump scares and disgusting popcorn stinks that smell like sweaty tourist feet. It's a one-of-a-kind attraction, and I hope it never closes. I hope it never closes. It's amazing. I love riding it. It's like an endurance test. It's like what I imagine, like it's the equivalent of theme park boot camp. If you can survive the emotional scarring horrors of the Cat in the Hat ride, you're ready for everything. You're ready for anything, quite honestly. Nothing's gonna scare you. Nothing's gonna scare you. Extraterrestrial encounter, get out of here. Versus that one scene where the thing 1 and thing 2 like jump out of a box, get out of here. Terrifying. Scares my pants right off. I hope it never gets torn down and continues to break and decay until it's nothing but rhyming robot skeletons and pale, angry fish in bowls shouting at me. Now, while there was a lot of magic happening inside the Cat in the Hat building, outside of the ride, there was a new Cat in the Hat at the land, the Dr. Seuss landing, in this gorgeous costume. Let's just like break it down for a second, because this modern Cat in the Hat look that we still use today might honestly be the best, maybe one of my favorites. The layering of the 2D cartoony scribble in his design changes what was previously sort of like this dead-eyed cat that was just like two-toned into like a real-life magical incarnation of Dr. Seuss's illustrations. This is so cool. Everything from like the tilt of the hat to like the shading of everything, the shading of the fur helps bring the costume to life. I'm continually impressed by this costume, and apparently so was like the Seuss company, because they essentially spread this Cat in the Hat look everywhere. This is the official Cat in the Hat licensed look. In the same way that like I met the Grinch at Hershey Park that one time, and it was like the official Grinch that's like licensed out and like sent to Hershey when they want to do a partnership with the brand. That works the same way here with this Cat in the Hat. It's everywhere. I've seen it in airports, in libraries, and weird parades. It just pops up. If you want to do a Seuss part, I bet we could look into it now. I bet I could license the Cat in the Hat to make a guest star appearance in a future episode. I should look into that. That would be hilarious. But why? When I'm so expertly dressed. Who needs the Cat in the Hat, baby? You got mischievous Dan. Now, a lot of people are going to be divided on the next iteration of the Cat in the Hat, but we got to talk about it, because honestly, it's one of my favorites. It's honestly one of my favorites. But you're probably in one of two camps. Either you were an adult when this show came out and you like loathe it's like infantile, childish, now that's what I call music bops, or you were a high school kid or continue to be raised into being a theater high school kid, and Seussical the musical is just incredible. It's just incredible. The music is just incredible. You love it. You love it. You love it so much. And look, if any of you out there are casting this show, you know, and you need a good cat, need a good Horton, need a good whatever, listen, I'm available. Call my agent, get me in your Seussical ASAP. Let's bring in some star power. Seussical is this like sort of high energy, non-stop musical adventure that blends the worlds of several popular Seuss properties into like one a great big mega show. And the cat serves as the narrator of the show. He's kind of like this fourth wall breaking, it leads you through all the exposition while having a lot of fun, have a few songs of his own, and it's great. It's been played by a wide variety of characters. It started with a dude, then it switched to like Peter Pan's standby Sandy Duncan, and then it even had Rosie O'Donnell play the cat at one point. And the costume is more traditional in the sense that it's like a tux and tails sort of thing. And after the Broadway production, every local high school theater, you just Google Cat in the Hat high school Seussical, and you'll see some wild costumes, some wild things people have done here. So God bless you all. God bless all you high school costumers. In an attempt to ruin all future live-action Dr. Seuss adaptations, the 2003 Cat in the Hat movie starring Mike Myers was surely, and definitely, and 100% most certainly, an interesting take.
A monster? Where?
Sort of this weird Austin Powers Cat in the Hat that I secretly love this, guys. I'm sorry. It became like a thirsty, hairy Austin Powers Catman with mystical and wise powers. And I kind of dig that. He's essentially the genie for the modern era. You know what I mean? Or Mary Poppins, if you will. You know, Genie had the lamp, Mary Poppins has her bag, Cat has his hat, and I love it. I love it. Honestly, I love it. I count the things from this movie that I love. Honest to God, it's so funny. The cupcake in nature, probably one of my favorite things that's ever happened. I don't know, it's just one of my favorite things that's ever happened. Super duper fun fact about this is that, you know how the whole movie's about messes, and thing 1 and thing 2, they make a mess and they splat the goo and everything has pink goo on it. It's a very goo-filled movie. Procter & Gamble sponsored the red carpet with their cleaning supplies, and believe it or not, hot, tall, bald, gay icon Mr. Clean was there, taking pictures with celebrities. That sort of stuff's amazing to me. I love it. I love a corporate mascot shilling his business. So funny. So stupid. And now the tale of Squarespace. 1 space, 2 space, round space, Squarespace sponsors today's video. That was a good one. I like that. That was a good one, Dan. Pat myself on the back there. Squarespace has done it again. Forget AI and welcome design intelligence, combining 2 decades of industry-leading design expertise with cutting-edge AI technology to unlock your strongest creative potential. Design intelligence empowers anyone to build a beautiful, more personalized website tailored to their unique needs and craft a bespoke digital identity to use across one's entire online presence. Seriously, I don't even think you need to know how to read to make a website on Squarespace. Like, I'm just saying, like, the tools are so powerful. You don't have to be a writer. You don't have to be some incredible writer. You can just make magic happen with this stuff. And Squarespace's super flexible templates continue to be amazing. Get started with a professionally designed Squarespace website template with options for every use and category. Then customize your look, update content, and add features to fit your needs. Transform any template into your own and stand out online on every device. Even mobile. They let you edit mobile. It's great. And here's something pretty cool for all your small businesses out there. Introducing Invoices, an easy way to collect payments so you can focus on growing your business. Invoice clients and get paid for your services, turn leads into client proposals, estimates, and contracts, and simplify your workflow and manage your service business on one platform. Go to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/DisneyDan to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Well, that was fun. The Cat in the Hat is so much fun. I love it. Let me know in the comments if I have missed any of these wonderful cats, or if you had the opportunity to meet any of these mystical cats out in the wild. Head on over to my new podcast, Fun, where I'm sure to be talking about Cat in the Hat and all kinds of other weird costume characters with all of my fun YouTube friends. And, visit my holy social medias. They're out there. They're waiting for you. Send me your pictures. I love seeing you guys. When you guys take pictures with costume characters, it warms my heart. Makes me so happy. Makes me so happy. Speaking of happy, hey patrons, thank you so much for supporting the channel. You're all awesome. Every single one of you. Let me just blow you some kisses. Mwah, 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 mwah. Does everybody get their kisses? Mwah, mwah. So stupid. So stupid. Thanks again, HalloweenCostumes.com. Also, now Halloween.com. They got Halloween.com. So just go to HalloweenCostumes.com/DisneyDan to support the channel, full-time channel sponsor partnership, having a super good fun time. Or thedisneydan.com to find all of my coupon codes and links to other fun stuff. Oh, I never put on the face mover mask. Hold on. I have to get it positioned just right to make it look like I'm talking with it. And I have to talk really big because I have a huge head and my chin doesn't rest comfortably underneath the talking part. Cat in the Hat, what is up with that? I am Disney Dan, but I don't easily tan, 'cause I have sunlight sensitivity, gonna wear some strong SPF. I don't know what song I'm singing, but I am pale. That's true. I am pale.